Calgary veterans who served more than 3 decades ago in the Persian Gulf War say they're still fighting, not on the battlefield, but for recognition. They want the federal government to officially reclassify their mission as wartime service and not just a special duty. Mark Villani has more.
The sounds of conflict may have faded, but Canadian veterans in the Persian Gulf still remember some of the most tense moments of their lives.
A little bit scary at times. I mean, you get the sirens going off and you get, Scud missiles.
Calgarian Robert Foote was there in 1991, responsible for transporting Canadian pilots in Qatar as part of Canada's coalition effort to liberate Kuwait after an Iraqi invasion.
These are all letters.
Foote still keeps letters from students who wished him a safe return. Despite his medals, he says the federal government refuses to call it a war.
Everybody recognizes it as a war, and yet somehow or another we put a different title on it. I don't understand why.
Ottawa instead classifies the battle as special area duty. That's not sitting well with Harold Davis. He sailed through minefields and battled chemical threats as his team rescued American ships caught in the crossfire.
The government themselves wants to call it a war when it's convenient, but they don't want to turn around and give the recognition to the Persian Gulf veterans that served in the war.
Calgarian Peter Wall also served on the HMCS Protector, ensuring the safety of a U.S. hospital ship.
A lot of guys all across the country go to Remembrance Day ceremonies. In a lot of places, the Gulf War is not mentioned at all.
But now, 34 years later, more than 75 MPs are still advocating for Ottawa to recognize this as a war. The Minister of Veterans Affairs says our government has been clear that proper recognition matters and that getting this right is a priority. But some historians say they've heard that before. The delay now echoes the Korean War, where veterans waited 28 years for wartime status.
They served. They risked their lives. They stood up for Canada and the world. That was a war.
You're there and you're doing what you have to do, but you're not recognized for it.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
And Ottawa says more consultations are still needed as part of its review. Next February will mark 35 years since the Persian Gulf War.